From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight,
Bimbo Oloide.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, House of Assembly impeaches Governor Murtala Nyako of Adamawa State. Chief Judge swears in Speaker as acting governor. Interpol makes crucial arrest, hands over alleged mastermind of the Nyanya bombing to the Nigerian police. Federal government accuses Bring Back Our Girls campaigners of aborting president's meeting with Chibok parents. And Israel resumes airstrikes on Gaza as Hamas rejects ceasefire proposal, calls it an ambush.
And on business news tonight, Federal Accounts Allocation Committee shares 684 billion naira to 3 tiers of government in June.
And on sports news tonight, hundreds of thousands of fans in black, red and gold flocked to Berlin to see their victorious team parade with the World Cup trophy.
I'm Gloria Umezuke, and from Abuja, the president crosses the first major hurdle as PDP caucus in the House of Representatives endorses him for second term in office.
We begin tonight with a wind of change blowing in Adamawa State, as the House of Assembly today impeached Governor Murtala Nyako, and a few hours later, the Speaker was sworn in as the acting governor of the state. The governor's removal followed his indictment by the Assembly for gross misconduct, corruption and abuse of office, among other allegations. His deputy, who was also charged along with his boss, took the path of honor as he sent his resignation to the Assembly earlier today.
We note that they have been...
After weeks of deliberating whether or not the embattled governor of Adamawa State, Murtala Nyako, will be impeached, the State House of Assembly finally removed him, with 18 of the 25 members adopting the report of the panel after the Speaker of the House presented it on the floor.
Allegation 17, the allegation of approve, allegation 18, the allegation of approve, and allegation 19, the allegation of approve. On the whole, 16 out of the 20 allegations served on the executive governor by the Adamawa House of Assembly have been proved.
The report found the governor guilty of all 16 allegations of gross misconduct and corrupt enrichment. The motion for his impeachment was then moved by Jerry Kumdisi and seconded by the Deputy Speaker, Kwamoti Lauri.
This verified 17 signatures of the House. Even though 18 signed, we have satisfied the provision of the Constitution of Nigeria, particularly Section 188, subsection 9. With these two-third majority of the House adopting the resolution of the seven-man panel, I hereby declare the governor of Adamawa State, Rear Admiral Murtala Nyako, the governor of Adamawa State, removed from office.
In addition to the governor's impeachment, the House also passed a motion that the Speaker be sworn in as the acting governor. While Mr. Nyako got the boot from the lawmakers, his deputy, Bala Ngalari, hurriedly tendered his resignation to the House to avoid being impeached.
I, Right Honorable Ahmadu Umar Finturi,
do solemnly swear
that
I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
to
the Federal Republic of Nigeria,
that
I will preserve,
protect,
and defend the Constitution
of the
Federal Republic of Nigeria. So help me God.
So help me God.
And this afternoon, the Speaker of the House of Assembly was sworn in as the acting governor of the state. Swearing in the acting governor, the Chief Judge of the state, Ambrose Mamadi, said that this is the second time the Speaker would be occupying the governor's position in an acting capacity, having done the same thing in January 2012.
I will discharge my duties to the best of my ability.
In the meantime, a professor of law and senior advocate of Nigeria, Ise Sage, has condemned the exercise, saying due process was not followed. He criticized the lawmakers for pursuing the impeachment option, explaining that what they termed gross misconduct was according to their own interpretation.
I've received it with mixed feelings because in the political history of Nigeria, no governor has been properly removed, not in the legal sense, in both moral and legal sense combined. There is always something wrong with the removal. If we look at this particular case now, we must honestly ask ourselves, was it removed by the Adamawa State House of Assembly, or was it removed by President Jonathan? So that is the issue. We have that nagging feeling of interference from federal, imposition from federal. By the definition of the Constitution on this aspect, gross misconduct simply means what the members of the House of Assembly call gross misconduct. They can even call a bishop who has just finished preaching, and they can resolve that he has committed gross misconduct. Under those circumstances, that cannot be questioned. So there's no definition. What they assume, what they say is gross misconduct is not questionable. If you look at an objective panel, which is actually set up in good faith, they could not be right, because to deny yourself fair hearing is self-indictment. In such a situation, you cannot complain. But if they're already doomed and condemned, it's just a question of come quickly, let's conclude the condemnation. If that is the type of panel that was set up, then of course, to preserve their dignity, they would not dignify such an invitation, knowing that the people there are virtually political assassins who have made up their minds based on instructions from above. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm now being joined on the news at 10 by Mr. Osahon Ihenya, a solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. Welcome to the news at 10.
Thank you very much.
Now, Professor Sage has blamed the impeachment of the Adamawa State governor on what he calls interference and imposition from above. What's your opinion?
With due respect to the learned professor of international law, indeed, I received instructions in international law and law of contract at the feet of Professor Sage. I must say to you that I do not agree with him because what he has simply done is to bring extraneous matters into the powers that is being given to the members of the House of Assembly in Adamawa State for them to do what they have done. What matters is really whether they have followed the constitutional provisions as provided for by Section 188 through subsection 1 to 11 of that of the Constitution. I think they have largely met those provisions. They have abided by the provisions, and I think the governor has been impeached, he's been removed, and that is the end of the matter, since they have abided by the provisions of the Constitution.
So they did follow due process?
Largely, they followed due process. I mean, from what I monitored here from Lagos, I mean, the papers have been awash with what's been happening in Adamawa State. The panel was constituted, and it started by 1/3 majority. It was midwifed by 2/3 majority, and 2/3 majority concluded the process. I think largely the members of the House of Assembly in Adamawa State did what they have to do as provided for by the provisions of the Constitution.
Well, both the governor and his deputy were actually given the opportunity to defend themselves, and they chose not to. Was this a right action on their part?
If you ask me, I think they shot themselves in the foot. And if you remember, I think the deputy governor actually sent in a letter of resignation. You know, I mean, to show that he tried to be a gentleman. As it were, I think the members, both of them, I mean the governor in particular, shot himself in the foot. Even if the governor did not have time to go, and even if the governor did not want to honor the the invitation. At least he could have sent a battery of senior advocates of Nigeria to go and defend him, because he has a right by virtue of the provisions of Section 188, subsection 6. He could go there and defend himself in person. He could do a write-up and send it to them, trying to answer the allegations. But for him not to have gone, I think he shot himself in the foot, and I think he should stew himself in his own juice, as it were.
Well, thank you very much for coming on to the news at 10.
Thank you very much.
I've been speaking with Mr. Osahon Yaya about the impeachment of the governor of Adamawa State. Meanwhile, the governor of Imo State and chairman of the All Progressives Congress Governors Forum, Rochas Okorocha, has said the impeachment of the Adamawa State Governor, Murtala Nyako, by the State House of Assembly is not what the country needs at this time. Governor Okorocha insists that what the nation needs now are ideas, unity of purpose, and patriotism to tackle the lingering security issues threatening our nationhood, and not actions that would further inject bad blood among the leaders and the people. He therefore condemned the impeachment of Governor Nyako and the impeachment threats against the governors of Nasarawa, Edo, and River states as politics of intimidation that is aimed at stifling the APC as a party and threatening the nation's democracy. In part 2, after the break, House of Representatives to investigate out-of-school cases among children. Please stay with us.